بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقال رجل مؤمن من آل فرعون يكتم إيمانه وتقتلون رجلا أن يقول ربي الله وقد جاءكم بالبينات من ربكم صدق الله العظيم. We started the discussion of Surah Ghafir or Surah Mu'min. The first discussion was about how to be mindful of other people and ask Allah Azza wa Jal when you see someone being involved in something wrong, to care for them, to have feelings for them, to supplicate to Allah Azza wa Jal for them, and to make an effort that how they can come out from their sin. This was a quality of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the collective Sahaba radwanullahi alayhim ajma'in, which we need to inculcate into our lives as the walking Quran. In today's discussion, we are going to talk about a very unique quality which was found in the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as well as in the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And that is standing up for what is right. Standing up for what is right. In this surah, Allah Azza wa Jalla mentions a story of an individual during the time of Prophet Musa alayhi salatu wassalam. And then we are going to compare that story with one of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam who inculcated the same quality in his life. And then how we can also inculcate that quality, that character into our life as a theme of walking Quran. So Allah Azza wa Jal mentions in Surah Ghafir ayah number 40 that there was a person, وَقَالَ رَجُلٌ مُؤْمِنٌ, a believer who was from the family of Fir'aun. So Fir'aun, he was a tyrant person, we all know. He decided to take care of Musa alayhi salatu wassalam, get rid of Musa alayhi salatu wassalam, na'udhu billah, and he gave him many difficulties and so on and so forth. So when they were having a consultation about how to kill Prophet Musa, there was this person who was among the people of Fir'aun, but he had brought faith in Musa alayhi salatu wassalam. When he realized that Musa alayhi salatu wassalam is a messenger of Allah and what he is calling towards is right. But he did not expose his faith due to the environment that he was living in. Correct? Due to the environment he was living in, he did not expose his faith. But when the time came to a certain situation where they are plotting a plot against Prophet Musa, in fact plotting a plot to kill him, at that time he could not bear it. He could not bear it. His iman, his dignity, his belief did not give him permission to be quiet. That's a lesson for us that in certain things you can compromise, but in certain things you're not allowed to compromise. When it comes to the matter of faith, when it comes to the matter of believing, your iman, your dedication to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at that time you need to speak up what is right. You need to speak up what is right. So in this individual, he spoke up. But he spoke up in a very different manner. He did not say, oh, you guys are all going to hell because you don't believe in Allah. He came up with an approach that a common understanding person can always look into it and maybe understand it. An approach which is in the matter of love and affection. So Allah says, Allah Azza wa Jalla beautifies the whole story in this, about this person, how he approached the people of Fir'aun and what he spoke to them about. So Allah says, يَكْتُمُ إِيمَانَهُ, he was hiding his faith. And then he says, أَتَقْتُلُونَ رَجُلًا, are you going to kill a person who says, my Lord is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And then he began his speech. It's a very lengthy speech, we're not going to go into that speech, because our point is something else. Our point is that our faith that Allah has given us as a gift, sometimes it goes through a turmoil where you have difficulty, conditions, problems. And at that time, what it requires is for a person to stand up. Now, if you have to stand up against, let's say your relatives, your family members, you see something is being done wrong. You see someone is oppressing an individual in your house, right? At that time, your faith requires to speak up for what is right. You don't have to disrespect, you don't have to dishonor, but you need to mention what is right. Once Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu anhu was sitting, and he asked the question, أَتَدْرُونَ مَنْ أَشْجَعَ النَّاسِ? Do you know amongst the companion who's the most brave? So, just to, people have that gesture that they want to give your praise in front of you. And behind your back, you can always tell that how much praise is accurate and how much praise is not accurate. So people were sitting next to Ali, they said, Ya Ali, you are the one. You are the most brave. He says, no, I'm not brave. The most brave individual from the companion of the Prophet ﷺ was Abu Bakr. We've heard about the bravery of Khalid bin Walid. We've heard about the bravery of Umar, right? Many hadiths we've heard, many stories we've heard. So people were shocked. Okay, maybe Umar, yes, Khalid bin Walid, yes. Abu Bakr was kind of rajulun raqiq, when he was a very, soft person. As Aisha radiallahu anha, the daughter of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, describes, kind of rajulun raqiq, when he was a very soft individual. So how you are going to manage these two qualities, being brave and at the same time being soft? So Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu anhu says, in the beginning, in the early times, when Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam came with the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at that time, all the people stayed quiet because no one wanted to go and get themselves hurt. No one wanted to take the enemy of the people of Quraysh. When the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam would be tortured, we didn't have the courage to go in because it was 1 against 20. So even if we go, it's going to be 2 against 20. And in the early days of Makkah, there was no fighting back. There was only patience. But this individual alone, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he would go in the middle while the people are torturing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he would stand up for what is right. And he would tell them, أَتَقْتُلُونَ رَجُلًا أَنْ يَقُولَ رَبِّيَ اللَّهِ? Are you going to kill a person who is just saying that my Lord is Allah? Are you going to kill a person who's just believing in Allah? Just because of his belief, you're going to kill him? And then after that, Ali radiallahu anhu asked another question. أَرَجُلٌ مُؤْمِنٌ خَيْرٌ أَمْ أَبِي بَكْرٍ? Is that person who Allah mentions in Surah Ghafir, is he more elevated, better, or Abu Bakr? So everyone stayed quiet. This is a question of thinking, what, Abu Bakr or this person? So no one answered. He had put this question again. Is this person great or Abu Bakr? No one answered. The third time he put the same question. No one answered. Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu anhu says, لَسَاعَةُ أَبِي بَكْرٍ خَيْرٌ مِنْ عُمَرِ رَجُلٍ مُؤْمِنٍ. Just one moment of Abu Bakr is greater than the whole life of this person who was speaking against Fir'aun in the court of Fir'aun for Musa alayhi salatu wassalam. People ask him why? What made you come into this conclusion? He said, because Allah says, يَكْتُمُ إِيمَانَهُ. He was hiding his iman. Abu Bakr أَعْلَنَ إِيمَانَهُ. He exposed his faith. He never hid it. During the time of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, for certain people, the Prophet alayhi salam did tell them, well, you don't expose your faith now. Let the time become more supportive. And the reason why he said that, because he knew that these people do not, they are new into the faith. They don't have the strength to maintain it. So he gave them that advice. Now of course, this is in a higher level. But every single day we see in our life, things are being done which are unjust. Things are being done which are unjust. Someone is snatching someone's money, someone is cheating upon someone is lying about someone is spreading rumors about someone, right? At that time, as a duty of a believer, what do you need to do? You need to tell a brother or sister, no, that's not right. Do you have the correct information? Do you have the accurate information? You're spreading this news about this brother, or you're spreading this news about this sister. Do you have accurate information? No, I've heard. No, that's not right. Unless and until we do not become the true believers of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, because these are the requirements of faith. These are requirements of faith. And not only that, but trying to fix it. There were many companions who became Muslim before their father or before their parents. Like Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, right? Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he was the first person to accept Islam. Where his father, Abu Quhafa, he accepted Islam all the way during the time of Fath Makkah. This is 2 years before the demise of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So after 21 years, he accepted Islam, Abu Quhafa. He never accepted Islam in the early days. These people believed, they were strong in their faith. Mu'adh ibn Amr bin Jamuh radiallahu anhu, he is one of the companions whose father became Muslim after he had accepted Islam. Mu'adh bin Amr bin Jamuh, at the age of he accepted Islam was about 15 years old. He had a friend, Mu'adh bin Jabal. They were two friends, very close friends. So Mu'adh bin Jabal accepted Islam first, and he inspired his friend to accept Islam, who was Mu'adh bin Amr bin Jamuh. But he could not take his father worshipping idol. Every day he would come home, his father is worshipping an idol. He's trying to explain to his daddy and dad, what are you doing? How come you're worshipping this idol? He says, don't talk bad about my God. Don't talk bad about my God. Okay, fine. But he has this zeal inside because he cannot resist. He needs to express. He needs to let him know. So him and his friend, they were joking around. You know, my dad, in the morning he wakes up, he cleans his God, he puts it in the shelf, and then after that he starts worshipping. The idol is the God, right? The idol is the God. So Mu'adh bin Amr bin Jamuh is having a joke with his friend, you know, his friend Mu'adh bin Jabal. Every morning my dad wakes up, he picks up his God, he cleans it up, he puts it back on the shelf, and he starts worshipping this God of his. So they're having this joke. So Mu'adh bin Amr bin Jamuh told his friend, you know, I have this deal that my father understands this fact. That this idol has nothing. There is no reality behind it. So both of them, they came out with the plan. They came out with the plan. And the intention is what? Intention is to rectify what is wrong. Intention is to rectify what is wrong. So they came up with the plan. The plan was that after my dad goes to sleep, we're going to grab his God and we're going to throw it into the garbage can. Right? So he's going to sleep, they picked up his God, the idol, and they threw it in the garbage can. Of course, they didn't have cans back then. It was an area where the whole city used to dump their garbage. It was a pit, a hole, where the whole city would come and dump their garbage. So he came in, threw his God in there. So next morning he woke up, he went into the shelf and he can't find his God. He says, where's my God? Where's my God? He started looking for his God. Couldn't find it. He went outside, started looking around. Suddenly he finds his God into that pit of garbage, of rubbish. He picked it up, he cleaned it, he put it there. Next day, both of them did the same thing. Picked it up and threw it away. Same thing. Third day happened. So third day he became very angry. He says, well, my God doesn't have anything to protect himself with. So he put his God, and after next to the God, he put a sword there. So if anybody comes to pick you up, make sure you fight with the sword. Make sure you fight. Who is he talking to? It's God. What is that God? It's an idol, right? It's an idol. Make sure you fight. So next morning he wakes up, the sword is sitting there, but the God is gone. Where did he go? So he went outside. These two youngsters, what they did is they grabbed a dead dog, a dog which had died. They grabbed him, they tied his dog with that dog, and they put it inside the pit of garbage. So you found it there. He says, you cannot be my God. You can't even protect yourself. Amr bin Jamuh, the father said, you're not God. You can't protect yourself. I even give you a weapon to protect, but you didn't protect. What kind of God you are? If you can't protect yourself, how are you going to protect me? And he came to the Prophet ﷺ and he accepted Islam. So standing up for what is right. When you do that, Allah Azza wa Jal brings help. Allah brings assistance. When we see something which is not right, sometimes we see it in our family members. Sometimes we see it in our parents. Sometimes we see it in our brothers, in our sisters. What is wrong is wrong. Even if it's coming from the mouth of my father, coming from the mouth of my brother, my sister, anybody, some person who is more respected than me, I have to let him know in an appropriate way. You cannot be harsh in your speech, but you can explain it in a very nice way. And this was the quality of Sahaba Radwanullahi alayhim ajma'in. As I mentioned to you, the two stories of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, Abu Bakr and Mu'adh ibn Amr bin Jamuh. How they dealt with the situation. Standing up for what is right and standing up for how to maintain it, how to make sure that the next person is accepting and they are not denying. And if you do it with the true intention, Allah will protect us and Allah Azza wa Jal will give us strength, inshaAllah. So this is a quality that today we're going to take in our life, that we're not going to do wrong things and we're not going to tolerate wrong things. We're going to fix it to the best of our ability in the best manner we can. May Allah Azza wa Jal grant us the ability to practice. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen.